Hi everyone, how are you? Hope all of you are doing well. I'm Aude PILLERON and welcome to all of you in our event today. Today we are going to talk about a new software that is very easy and quickly and can help us in producing our stories and comics in easy way without coding. And that's amazing. So let's welcome Miss Aude PILLERON, the ambassador of Panda Suite software. Miss Aude, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What about
Thank
you?
you for being part. Thank you for being part of our event today. Let's talk about Panda software.
Yeah, thank you for your invitation. So it's a great pleasure to be here
You
and
are
to
welcome.
present Panda Suite. So my name is Aude. I'm part of Panda Suite team. We are located in Paris, France, and we developed this tool, Panda Suite, which is a no-code tool, and that makes it easy to create any kind of interactive content and interactive stories without any coding. So our tool is open to everyone so that with your own content, with your images, with your illustration, with your text and everything, you just design what you have in mind, you build your screen, and you have lots of features and possibilities to bring them to life by creating some buttons, some animation, some interaction, and there are lots of components to go one step further, just like building a scrolling area, like adding some pop-ups, playing with drag and drops. And so the idea here is really to help you bring your stories and your content to life. Our tool is no code, but the idea is really to be the most flexible, to give you great freedom to build your stories in the way you want to build them. So compared to other tools, you have great flexibility and you can really design many kind of projects. So here we are much more discussing and focusing on interactive stories and storytelling and this kind of subject, but our tool is also created for other kind of projects, so like for museum, for corporate communication, for learning. So anytime you need to create something, to create some kind of interaction, some kind of content using screens, you can do it within our tool. So what I'm gonna do right now is first I'm gonna show you a few examples so that you can understand what you can build with our tool. And then just after, we will have a look at the tool itself to see how you can build with Panda Suite your own stories and what are the steps for you to go one step further. Because right now you're at the beginning of your project, you are like thinking about it. So the idea is for you like to have a broad overview to be sure that Panda Suite is a great tool for you and for you to be quickly able to bring your content to life.
Yeah, sounds good.
Great. So first of all, and please ask me, and if other participants have some questions, I would be happy to answer and to stop anytime. Okay.
Yeah, never mind. Okay.
Okay, great. So first of all, I'm going to show you some example of projects that were made using Panda Suite. So first of all, I'm going to share screen. So let me. So now at the middle of your screen, you're going to see an interacting storytelling, which is like a travel stories, and it was made using our tool. And so the idea of this project was to tell some stories about traveling in Australia and New Zealand. And you will see that here it's like dear, and you can choose mama, papa, or whatever you want. So you choose the name. And then after, it's just a long scrolling story, you know? So what I just do is like I'm scrolling here. And so there are some illustration and some content that were like designed by our user. And they decided to make it just scrolling. So every time, and this is how you're gonna be navigating through the story, it's just through scrolling. So here, you scroll. So you can do it on a desktop, or you can also do it on a tablet. And here you have some chapters. So there is like some, and you will see some animation, like for here, for example, what I'm scrolling here, look at the characters, they're gonna be moving, and you know, the bubble are gonna be appearing. So you can trigger and you can create some kind of animation using your tool. And this scrolling effect has been using our scrolling component. So I'm gonna show you just after how you can create this kind of thing. So this is a story that you can find on this website, which is ici-tout-va-bien.net, you know. So I'm sorry, this is only French, but this is a type of story. So just scrolling and something you can do with our tool. Another type of example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be screen sharing. So I have an iPad here. So I'm going to just connect it so you can see it properly.
Okay.
So let me just show you. So this is another interactive novel that was designed using our tool. So it was a mix between a movie, so there is a lot of video content inside, and an interactive novel. And so they wanted to create a really immersive story, so that you can have some mix between videos, and also you can go deep inside this story. And this story is about someone that is like getting lost. And so they decided, in the way you navigate through the story, that you should be able to get lost as well, you know. So there's some scrolling content here. So you're just scrolling. And then there is no indication, okay? So this is just when I'm at the end of the text that the button of the next page is arriving.
Yeah, good.
So then after you've got lots of different animation, you can also play with the motion. So if you use some tablets and so on, you can really build a lot of different interaction. Just something more I wanted to show you. This is not really like a story, but it gives you some example of features that you can find in our tool. This was much more like a gaming for kids to better understand the human body. And so this is some kind of drag and drop. So you can use some features to place them at the right place and then to have the correct combination. So drag and drop is also a feature that you can find in our tool. And you can really build some much more kind of gamification and interactive content like that. So it gives you a quick overview of what you can build. And now what I can do is to focus on the tool itself and to show you how it works.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So first of all, to create your story within Panda Suite, what you just need to do is to go on the website, which is pandasuite.com. Okay, you click on sign up, and then you create your account. Okay, so it's a free account. You can create one on or many projects. And here inside the dashboard, you've got the listing of your project. Okay, so here it's an account with several projects. So let me just, you create a new project. Okay, and then you need to download because everything you build is creating using our tool, which is an application for desktop. So you just download Panda Suite Studio, and let me just screen share. And you download Panda Suite Studio, which is an application, okay? You go here, and then you just, either you can choose a template that has already been created, or you can create a blank project. So if you choose a blank project, choose it. Okay. Let's choose the name, okay, and then after you can choose the layout. So it's the size of your project, so you can make it good for tablet or like for large screens such as websites. So we can choose this one, okay, and in the landscape orientation. So it's gonna launch, and I'm gonna show you how the tool itself is created and how you can build everything using your tool. So now you are discovering Panda Suite Studio. So for you to better understand, here is really your page at the middle of the screen. Okay, this is where you're gonna put all your content. Okay. Yes. Here at the top, you've got the menu. You can add some text, you can add some images, some pre-made shapes, and also some components. Okay, we will go back again to components to tell you how to use them and for what kind of purpose. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Here at the left side of your screen, there is the screen window. So how your project is built. Let's say you want to create 3 chapters. Okay, so for you, you're gonna create 3 separate pages. Okay, so you need to create 3 screens. So let me rename those one. So let's say, okay, chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3. Okay, so this is really the structure of your novel. Okay, so depending on how many pages and how do you want to construct your project, you will be able to choose and after to link every page together. Okay, yes. So your project is empty right now because you're gonna be designing what you need for this project. So the characters, the background, the object or the universe of your story. Okay, yeah. So the first thing for you is really to build everything you have in mind, and also don't hesitate to just use a paper and to draw what you want. Okay, so I want this kind of screen and I want this kind of animation. I want a button here, you know, just to have the idea really clear in your mind, and then you are ready to start building with Panda Suite. So when you have the idea that is clear to your mind, Panda Suite will really be the tool for you to bring to life your story with your content using the animation and creating some kind of action and some kind of buttons. Okay.
Hey, Ms. Aude, I will interrupt you.
Yes.
There is a question here. They asking if this website is a create characters or just for projects and elements is ready.
You need to have your own character and you need to import them within the tool.
Yeah. فهمتوا علينا كيف انه انتوا لازم الكاركتر تبعتكم تكون مرسومه بالاساس وانتوا بتعملوا لها امبورت على البروجكت. Okay? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so for this tutorial and for this workshop, what I've done is I've been through a website and I've downloaded already some visual elements to use them for our presentation. Okay, so I go to media, to the media window here, and I'm going to click the import button. And this is where I'm going to import the elements I need. Okay, so I use some characters, some backgrounds. So I add them in the media section. Okay. And here, some more. Okay, so once all your elements are imported within the tool, they are already available. Okay, so in terms of internet connection, you know, this is good for you. You upload everything, and then after you can use it everywhere in your project. Okay, so let's start. For example, I want to have a first, let's say, for example, I want to create a first screen, which will be just the name of your story. Okay, so for that, I'm going to just use, for example, the logo Panda Suite. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so to add a media, you can double click on the media from this window, or you can really drag and drop from the media to the screen to place it wherever you want. Okay. If you want to add the name of your story, you can use, for example, a text block. So to add a text block here, you just click text. Okay. And I can close the media, and in the properties of my text block, I can choose the font I want. Okay. I can make it bigger, much more bigger. And you can really design up. Okay, so for each element, you can move it, you can place it wherever you want. Okay, and here in the toolbar, you've got option to make it center and to change the size if you want to. Okay, so let's say we put it here. Okay, this is just an example, and all my content, I can see it in the object list. At the bottom left of my screen, I can see there is a title of my story and the image. Okay, so let's save. You need to save every time, okay, to save so that your project is correctly.
Okay, there is another question. They asking if they can make animation in this software. Also they need to import it.
No, you can build some kind of animation. You can build some transition. Okay, and if you have already made animation, just like After Effects animation, you can import them. And I'm going to show you how to create animation.
اوكي اذا just one minute. اللي سأل على موضوع الحركه الانيميشن فيه جاهز، وفي ممكن اذا استخدمت الافتر افكت انه انت تجهزه وتعمل له امبورد، وهذا الشيء هنشوفه لاحقا ان شاء الله. اوكي جو اهيد.
اسماء بعد اذنك، في باسل رافع ايده، اذا ممكن نخليه يحكي برضه يشوف اذا بده يعمل مداخله.
تفضل باسل.
باسل okay, خلاص. Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, so this was a good question about animation. What I suggest is that we're gonna create a link between this first screen to the second one, and then we will animate this screen together. Okay, so then we need to think, how do I want to move from one screen to another? Do I want to click on something? Do I want to swipe? So you can really choose any kind of trigger you want to go to the other screen. And to create the trigger, you can choose, for example, if I want people to click on the logo, I can choose the logo and create an action. And if I want something that is full screen, let's say I want to create a swipe or a click to go to the other screen, I can use a component. And this component is an interactive era. Okay, so I add it and I just place it where I want to make it, where I want to trigger the animation. Okay, so I want it full screen, so I make it full screen. And then to create an action, I'm gonna click action. Okay, so I've got selected my interactive era. I click action, and then I click add. First of all, I'm going to select the trigger. How do I want to go to the other screen? Will I tap once, double tap, sorry? Will it be a swipe? So let's say I just want to click once. And then after, what do I want to do? I want to change to screen to go to screen chapter 1. Okay. And here, let's say that it's the home screen, something like that. Okay. So let's see together how my action was created.
Okay, just I think there is a problem. The screen didn't make action. There's something not updated as you talk.
In the screen sharing, I'm gonna stop share and I'm gonna screen share again.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'm screen sharing again, and you see I've placed the interactive area above my screen. I save. Is it moving for you, or is it still fixed? Can you
still fixed?
Still fixed?
No, yeah. No, it's okay. Now it's okay.
Ah, okay, great. Yeah. And now you see here, when I'm clicking everywhere in my screen, I go to screen number 2, which is totally blank right now. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna, I'm gonna create links between my screen.
Now it's okay. Now it's okay. Yeah. Okay. I think there is someone need question.
Yes.
Okay, Ayham, I think. Ayham, you can speak. You can ask your question right now. محاسن. محاسن.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
بداية مشكورين على القبول. ثاني شغلة ممكن أحط شوية كلمات إنجليزي. أوكي أنا مش كثير شاطر في الإنجليزي. In fact, in my work, I usually use step by step to do this work. I don't know this application give me. I usually work in Adobe Illustrator, character design, everything. Then I move to After Effects and do my moving. Okay, and here I don't understand what she mean in this website. How I can use it. يعني كيف حيفيدني في الشيء اللي راح نعرضه هنا.
She asked how she can use this software in their project.
Okay, so if you are using Illustrator, like to build your character, Panda Suite will be good for you to create like the story of your characters and the links between each page of your story. Okay, and for some kind of animation, if you are already using After Effects, you can add them within Panda Suite, you know. So let's say, for example, you are creating a step-by-step and a story, and inside the story there is some part in which the personage is moving, the character is moving. You can create the moving effect on After Effects and then import it on Panda Suite. So Panda Suite is for the full story and for you to create the links and to create interactivity between your elements so that the user can click, swipe, and bring action to your story.
Thank you. Okay. I will search about it more, and thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'm going to show you after how you can import some already made animation. Okay, so I'm going to try to make it more clear for you. Okay,
thank you.
Maybe at the same time I'm going to show you another example because I think it's going to be after. Sorry, I'm going to show you, but after I'm going to keep on the tool itself, and I think it's going to be easier like that.
Okay.
So what we've done here is like I've created the first chapter, okay, and you were asking about animation. So, you know, here when I'm previewing my work, exactly, you know, it's kind of, there is no animation. So what I would like to do is like my logo is appearing, so there is a transition, and the same with the title of my story, okay? So I'm gonna animate this first screen so that I can bring some more engagement to my user in the way in my story, okay? So to do that, how to create animation within Panda Suite is I'm gonna create and I'm gonna be using states, okay? So to create an animation, I create the state number 1 of the animation. I create the final state of my animation, and the transition is made automatically, okay? So for this example, first of all, I don't want the title to be seen. So I'm going to move opacity and it's going to be totally invisible. Okay. And for example, I want the logo. I want the logo to be appearing from the top, the bottom of my screen. Then using this orange button, I'm going to, you know, change and create the final state. So my logo will be here and the title of my story will be visible. Okay, so I've got the first state of my story, I've got the second state of my story, and I'm gonna link them together to create my animation. To link them together, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create an action, just like I made with my interactive area, when I said I want to click and go towards the other screen. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I want to automatically go to the state number 2 and to trigger this transition. So to do that, I open the actions, okay? The state number 1 is selected, and then I say when I'm displaying this state, I want to go to the state number 2, and you know, you choose the duration, you can create a delay as well, and you validate, okay? So when I'm previewing here, you will see how my elements are gonna be moving together. So I'm gonna refresh, you know. So the title of the story is appearing progressively and the logo is moving. So this is how I'm going to be able to move my elements to bring my story to life and to give some movement to the text of your bubbles, for example, and also to make move your characters and to bring some stories like that. So this was, you know, just for the home screen. For the chapter, I decided I go to chapter 1. And here I'm going to be using some character. So as you were asking, sorry, I don't remember your name, but
Mahasan.
Okay, so Mahasan, if you are working and you are building your characters in Illustrator, you can import your characters here, you know, as a PNG file, and then you can drop them, you know, here in the content, you know. So you can build and you can design your character, and you can also design some other visual graphic element as you want. You can design the background. You can, here I have an example of background. I think I use that. So I make it, okay. And for the bubble, you can use the shapes. Here there is one, but you can also design your own and then import them inside the tool, you know. So let's imagine something like that. So I'm going to choose it, change it. So, okay, let's say that. Imagine, I think I have another, sorry, I have another character. I have a child, yes, here. Okay, so this is totally, for example. Okay, so let's say here, you can add some text. Okay, so let's say the two characters meet together. The man is speaking first, and then I want, every time I click, that the people are speaking together, you know? So I'm gonna design frame by frame what's gonna happen, and I'm gonna bring all this to life, okay? So this is the first step. So the first one is speaking. I'm gonna create, for example, the next one. This will disappear, and this one will speak. Okay, so I have the first one, I have the second one. So if I save, and preview. Okay, so this is the first this is the first step. Okay, now I want to click and to make appear the second speech. Okay, so let's do as we did already. I'm going to use an interactive era because I want to click anywhere on the screen to go somewhere else. And then I'm going to create the action saying when I'm clicking, I don't change screen because I'm on the same screen, but I'm going to change screen state. Okay, and I go to the second one.
Okay, we have a question from Ibrahim. He asking if this software is just for making prototype.
No, this is a really good question because everything you build is automatically converted and you can create a real website, web content, or you can make it an app if you want to. And so everything you build visually is automatically converted in web, iOS, and Android format.
Yeah, okay, Ibrahim.
And you know, here when I'm clicking, I refresh, I'm gonna redo it. When I'm clicking somewhere in the screen, you know, there is a transition and the young girl is speaking. Let's say, for example, then I want to have a focus on the girl for the, so I can, you know, move everything. And I have some kind of zooming effect. So okay, let's say then on the third one, I want to be closer and I want to say something else.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so first step, second step, third step. Okay, and here I just need to make sure that my interactive era here, I have got the action, which is when I'm clicking on the step number 2, I go to number 3. Okay.
Okay.
So this is, you just need to make it step by step, and then after to combine everything together.
Yeah.
So here, so first I click, second I click, and I've got a zooming on the little girl with the, so you just need to put your elements wherever you want, and after you choose how you want the user to interact with your story. You know, it can be on the full screen, it can be a swipe, or you can, you know, make it click on the little girl and have the zooming on the little girl. And if you want on the man, to click on the man and the things that appear.
Okay, good.
So this was about like creating some kind of animation. Is it clear on this part? Just to be sure also, so I'm showing you everything and there is a lot of concept for you to understand.
Yeah.
Please note that
big software.
Yeah, please note that there are a lot of tutorials in English online available for free. Okay, so you can have everything explained here, and you have also a messaging tool at the bottom right of the screen. If you click, you can ask the team, and you can ask us if you have any questions on how to do this and how to do this.
Yeah, good. يعني في كتير توتوريال موجودة على الإنترنت، اللي بحب يرجع للسوفت وير يعني بده يتعمق فيه أكتر حيلاقي في كتير مواقع باللغة الإنجليزية حتساعده إنه يتعمق فيه ويتعرف عليه أكتر. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so this was about for you to understand what is a screen, how to build animation, and now I'm going to be focusing on some components, because some components can be useful for your stories if you want to have some kind of scrolling, or if you want to use some drag and drop, for example. So I'm going to focus on this example and on this component for you to understand how they work. If you remember,
before going to the next step, I have a question here from Jannat. She asking if we can move the girl's hand or change her pose. Can we?
What do you want to move? I'm not sure I understand.
Hands.
At the end?
Yeah, hands or hair pose. Making change in hair.
You can add any visual elements you want.
Okay. She wants to see that. Okay.
Because I've added the childgirl.png and the man with iPad.png file. But if you build your own graphic design, you can choose really how your character behave and.
Yeah. Okay. So if she wants to move any part of the character, she need to design it before as a part, then import it in them. Okay.
Yes. It depends on what kind of animation she wants to do. If this is just a transition, just like a simple movement, she can do it like I've done with you. If this is much more like natural, for example, someone is moving, something that is really with a lot of different movement, you can import an animation, an After Effects animation that has already been made.
Yeah, okay.
If you want to import an animation that are already been made, here in the component, you've got the After Effects component, So you just place it wherever you want. So for example, if you want to have a moving character, you just place it here. And in the properties, you're gonna select the media. So you need to export from After Effects the file. The file needs to be in the right format. So everything is explained in this tutorial. And then you need to add it here and it will be displayed here.
Yeah.
Let me just...
Okay, take your time.
No, because I'm trying to find an After Effects animation to show you how it works, how you can import one.
Okay.
Or maybe I'm going to use another. I don't have an After Effects animation right here, or maybe here. No, I'm going to show you another example. It will be easier. Otherwise, what I can do is after this session, I will send you some example and some tutorials that can be helpful. And I will send you the one about After Effects. I think I'm going to do it so that we can just focus on building
okay,
some.
There is a question from Majd, I think. Majid. Majid? ألو؟ ماجد؟ سؤالك لو سمحت. ألو؟ ماجد؟ اوكي، إذا رجعت بحكيك ممكن أنت تكتب سؤالك وبنجاوب عليه. Go ahead, Aude.
Okay. So I wanted to show you, like, for example, do you remember the first example I showed you? It was just scrolling, and all the story was scrolling, and the people were scrolling. And I want to show you how to create this scrolling effect. Okay. So I'm gonna do it easily. I'm just gonna be scrolling a car, you know. So I'm gonna be creating this effect. This effect is known as the parallax effect. It's a web effect that you can see in many websites. Is when there is like a difference in the speed. You know, for example, the landscape is fixed and one object is moving. So
yes. Okay.
So I'm gonna create this. I just need one more asset. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be creating some, that's going to be like some houses, and that's going to be at the front a car which will be moving. Okay, so here I'm just importing the background, the one that was missing within my studio. Okay, this is this image. Okay. And you know, this one, no, I'm gonna start by changing the color of the background. So I want to make the sky. So let's say this is blue sky. Okay. And first of all, I'm gonna add the car itself. So the car is here. Okay. So the car will be fixed. I always want to see the car at the middle of my screen, but then I want to have a moving background, okay? So for this background, I'm gonna use this image of the city, okay? But I want to make it scrolling. So to make it scrolling, I'm gonna be using the scrolling component. So I'm just gonna cut this image. So my image is kept. And I'm going to be using, you know, here I'm clicking the components and I'm using and inserting the scrolling area. So scrolling area will be full screen. Okay, so I make it full screen. And then I go inside this scrolling area and I'm going to pass my my city. Okay. Okay. And my image is really big, but because it's going to be scrolling, you know, there's going to be this scrolling effect and my image will be displayed little by little.
Yeah.
So inside I added my image. Okay. And in the property of this component, I can choose, will it be scrolling horizontally or vertically? So it's going to be horizontally. I'm going to auto adjust to make all the image be displayed. And you can see here, there is a scroll bar. So I already have my scrolling effect. Okay. So I exit the scrolling area. Now my background is above my car. So I'm going to make it background. Okay. And let's just preview together what's happening.
Yeah.
So I have a fixed image of the car and I'm going to be having a moving background. And you know, when I'm using, I'm going to be moving my car and things can happen like that. So my car is like flying. I need to make it a bit more on the road. Okay. But with this scrolling background, I can animate my screen and, you know, give some depth to my environment.
Yeah.
Then after I can put whatever I want in the, you know, as a background. So I have the sun. Okay, I have some clouds. And I can make them move as well. If I put them in the scrolling area here. So this was how the first project I showed you was made. It was a huge scrolling area with a lot of characters and so on inside. You know, here. This is how it works. Here I have the scrolling bar which appears. I can hide it if I want. In the property, I can hide scroll bar, save. Okay. And let's say that at the end here, when I'm here, there is a character which is appearing, okay, and saying something. So if I want my character to appear just at the end of my scrolling, I add it in my scroll bar, okay. And if I reuse, let's say, the little girl, yes. Okay, and so she appeared just at the end of the scrolling.
Yeah.
Okay. So then after, to go one step further, you can trigger some events based on where you are in the scrolling. You can say, okay, when I'm at the end of the scrolling, automatically I go to the next chapter. Okay. So to do that, with this scrolling component, I can place some trigger and I can say, okay, when I'm here, when I see the little girl, I add a position. Okay, this is the end of the chapter, for example. And then you can create an action. So I select the scrolling area. I create an action. You know, my scrolling area is selected. And I can add an action saying when I'm at the end of the chapter, I want to automatically go to the next screen and to the next chapter.
Yeah.
And if I save and I create my action, you know, I'm moving, and then when I'm at the end, I automatically switch to the chapter. It's really quick. I didn't have time to see the girl, but I can set a delay and a duration to make it more.
Yeah, nice. Can we take a question from Basil?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, Basil? Basil? Hello, يا باسل. Hello? Basil?
I guess it's wrong sign.
Yeah, okay. إذا في عندك أي سؤال يا باسل ممكن تبعت لنا إياه كتابة. Okay, you can continue, Aude.
Okay, so this example was a way for you to understand the component, because you know the components are kind of interactive module to enrich and to give some interactive feature to your story. So let's have a look at the components. Okay, so to understand which one you can use and how you can use it.
Yeah.
So interactive era, we use this together is when you want to trigger something on an era of your screen. Okay. The gallery is like a slider. Let me show you. I'm gonna add the gallery. I'm not sure it will be useful for you, but inside the gallery you add some images. So let's say I want to add these 3 images. And automatically you will slide between each image. So I'm going to preview so that you can see better. So my gallery is here, and when I'm just sliding, I go to one screen to another. So it's good if you need to show some more content within your story. Okay. Multi-state. Multi-state is to create some animation. We created some animation on the home screen and on this screen, you know, but these animation were for the full screen. We were moving all screen, you know. If you just want to animate some part of your screen, you can use a multi-state component and, you know, just to create a located animation. Pop-up is a pop-up, you know, so it's, yes.
Excuse me, I'm very excited about what you're talking about. Actually, you're making comics very easy by this. I like it. But we have a question with Mahasan. If you can listen to me, Mahasan, or you have any question?
صحيح. السلام عليكم مرة ثانية. صوتي واصل؟
تفضلي محاسن. وعليكم السلام.
هلا هي بطريقة العرض اللي عرضت فيها كان أغلب الأشياء اللي عرضتها أشياء مبسطة، ما هي عبارة عن فيكتور، والفيكتور عارفين إنه مبسط، لكن في الروابط اللي أنتم أرفقتوها كان في كمية شغل جدا جميلة ومشغولة بتقنيات أعلى من الفيكتور. تمام؟ هانا عرضت فيكتور مبسط، لكن الروابط اللي كان تم إرفاقها كان الرسم فيه فعلا رسم مش مجرد أشكال. هي هاي الأشكال قابلة للموشن جرافيك أكثر ما هي كوميكس. يعني الأشياء اللي هي عرضتها كانت عبارة عن جرافيك فيكتور. تمام. لكن الكوميكس بيكون في مشاهد تفصيلية أكثر وفيلينج أكثر ورسم أكثر ما هو تصميم. فأنا
صحيح.
عندي صار لبس ما بين إنه الالستريشن وما بين الكوميكس. الالستريشن الفيكتور والكوميكس اللي إحنا حنشتغل، فعشان نكون محددين من البداية الطريق اللي حنرسم فيه.
مهم. الآن
هاي سؤال
إحنا الأمثلة اللي تم إرسالها كان الهدف منها بس إنه يعني نعمل زي خلينا نقول هيك صدمة للشباب اللي بيسجلوا، لأنه أنتوا لما سجلتوا أغلب الناس كانت بتسجل على أساس إنها رايحين في اتجاه الأنيميشن مش في اتجاه الكوميكس.
حلو.
تمام. فشو عملنا إحنا؟ بعتنا أمثلة عشان تتوضح الصورة ونصير فاهمين إنه اللي مطلوب منا بشكل أساسي هو الكوميكس مش هو الأنيميشن. الآن
تمام.
اللي بتعمله أود هنا هو عملية تسهيل على شخص مثلا يحمل فكرة، عنده خطاب معين، عنده رؤية معينة، بس ما بيمتلك مهارة الرسم، وبالتالي بصير هذا الآب هو شغلة بتسهل عمله. تمام. بصير ممكن يحكي عن فكرته، يوضحها، يجهزها بأي شكل هو بده إياه. بضل الموضوع إنه أنت شو رح تعملوا داخل الهاكاثون، لا تقلقي، هيكون في معنا منتور، هيكون في معنا شباب بروفيشنال يعني في المواضيع هذه بشكل ممتاز ورائع، من جوا البلد من برا البلد هيكونوا موجودين معنا، ورح يرشدوكم ويوجهوكم في كل خطوة بحيث إنه نطلع العمل بأحسن طريقة ممكنة، فلا تقلق في الموضوع هذا.
تمام. مشكور،
تمام.
يعطيك العافية. مشكور.
She asking about something out of the program, so I answered to her.
Okay.
But it's talking about it's very easy. Such I mentioned, it's very easy to make this. It's very easy to handle with this application, and she shocked about that because she talking about it's very complex when you trying to build a comics from zero to draw it by your hand and like this. So she have some issue, but we talking about it. We have in our hackathon, we will have mentors, we will have a lot of people help us inside Palestine, outside Palestine also. So I just tell her everything will be right.
Okay, great. I heard about Vector, so I thought that the question was, is it possible to handle some vector images? But I was not.
No, I mean in Victor.
Yeah. No problem.
عبود ناصر، عندك سؤال؟ عبود أو باسل، الاثنين رافعين أصابعكم وإيديكم. أي question? Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to show you a project that was created during a hackathon, the same. So I think it's a good way, and I'm going to show it right now. So I'm going to stop screen sharing so you can see on my... and I think it's really about comics, and it's a really nice one. The idea about this hackathon, it was a few years ago. It was like to reuse an existing comics, which was like a traditional one. So it was in printed paper, you know, and to bring it to life through animation and, you know, to tell the story a little differently. So they reused the elements, the characters and everything. And they used animation within Panda Suite to, you know, to create some dynamism. And so this is just swipe, you know, I'm just swiping through elements. And they've done things that are really nice because there are some zooming effects, you know, some apparition for the text. You know, so first the little guy is speaking, then the little girl, she's, you know, eating, you know. So this is really easy in terms of navigation. This is just swiping, but because you are focusing on one character, then on both, and it gives a new story about this. So this was a funny little story, and you know, this was creating during the event. And what I thought was really interesting is that with this animation, it was like giving a new dynamism to the story. And it was just zooming, sliding effect. So really easy. but the story is much more comic like that, and really, really cute as well.
مرحبا.
الو عبود.
هلقيت انا بس بدي اسال انه ممكن نعمل بروتوتايب مثلا على برنامج الفلاش او نعمله فيديو، مش شرط نستخدم حاجه اللي هو زي الباندا.
سؤالك تاني عشان افهمه.
اوكي، هلقيت البروتوتايب، انتم مطلوب انه نعمل بروتوتايب من خلال البرنامج هذا، صح؟
اوكي، يعني من الاشياء اللي ممكن اعملها بروتوتايب.
اوكي، هلقيت انا لو عملت البروتوتايب هذا من برنامج الفلاش مثلا، او من برنامج انا عملته فيديو صغير هيك البروتوتايب.
اوكي.
مش شرط ان استخدم البرنامج هذا، ممكن ولا لازم استخدمه؟
لا طبعا، اي تولز يعني انت حر.
يعني مش شرط يعني انا اتعلم البرنامج هذا من اول جديد.
صحيح، مش شرط، بس هي بتحكي على
اوكي
بعض الفيتشرز اللي انت ممكن تساعدك يعني.
اوكي، انا هاي كان سؤالي.
Okay.
ليس
We have a very simple question. They asking if this is the only software that can help him in producing or making prototype. I asked them, there is another tools like Flash. He talk about Flash. So it's not just for prototype, and it's not just for this software. There is another. Yeah.
Yes, depending on the kind of project you want, you have different kind of tool. For you to understand why Panda Suite could be useful for you is when you want to know coding and you want to be able to be really flexible in the type of interaction you want to create.
برضه هي حكت في إضافة كتير مهمة، إنه بناء على الإشي اللي أنت بدك إياه بتقدر تختار التول. تمام يا عبود، إن شاء الله هيك نكون جاوبنا على سؤالك.
تمام كتير، يسعدك.
ولا يهمك.
Okay. And also just to also specify something, inside the project I've created here, I've used only illustration and some images, but you can add some videos as well, and also audio files if you want to add some music or add some sounds to your application. You know, here you have like you have video player and you also have audio, so you can add any kind of multimedia content you want to your story.
Yeah, okay.
So just to finish with the component, so the one which is good as well was the one with the human body. You know, it's drag and drop. So if you want, while reading your story, the user to be active, you know, by moving one element or something like that, you can use the drag and drop. And then video player, sequence of images is like if you want to add some GIF files, you know, some sequences of images. HD image is to have some zooming effect, and the other one might be not already useful for you, not at this type, not for this kind of project, because if you were using tablets or mobile or so on, you have some kind of sensor you can use. You can play with the motion of the device to make something, you know, move well, shake as well if you want. For example, to shake the mouse and that something is shaking at the same time. So you have a lot of things. One that I like, but I'm not sure it will be useful for you, is image recognition, because it uses like the camera to trigger something interactive based on, it's like a QR code. So you scan an image and then you trigger something that is animated. So it's a good way to combine both physical and digital world. So
nice.
So here is a quick overview of everything you can create with Panda Suite. So if you choose to our tool to build your project, so first you need to add all your content. Then you can build your screen, have a look at tutorials, and we will give you an access so that you can create share links, so that when you will be presenting your project, you will have a link to send and to give to the audience to see your project and not to be still in Panda Suite. So
that's good.
So if you choose, we will help you on this.
Yeah, that's good. So now that's all about.
I cannot hear you anymore.
Asma?
Yeah, I'm not alone.
I guess we lost it. Okay, you know, Gaza problem with electricity, so
yes.
maybe she lost the electricity now.
Okay.
Okay, I guess we finished, yeah?
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much. If anyone need to ask anything, I will ask them. شباب إذا في ضايل حدا عنده أي سؤال حابب يعمل أي مشاركة، إذا في حتى أي فكرة في راسكم حابين تطرحوها، ارفع إيدك. تفضلي جنات.
Okay. My question is, are we going to be making the characters themselves, or we're just going to put them into motion and making comics about them? Or are we going to design the characters themselves?
I guess you have the choice between like designing your own character and using Illustrator to design everything and then import them in Panda Suite, or there are some websites on which you can have some free characters. So I'm not sure about you know, the content of your event and what kind of mentor we will be there to help you. But I guess you might have the two options, but concerning Panda Suite, in Panda Suite, you add your content. So either you have created your own character or you are using some pre-made characters.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. We have a question from Jannat.
She already asked, I guess. If you have another question, Jannat.
Oh, no, I finished. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Anyone? If anyone have any other question? Anyone question? Okay, so I guess that's it. Thank you, Aude.
My pleasure.
Much. Yeah, Asma.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
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 Bye.